Prince Harry and Meghan Markle broke and practically homeless? Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have landed in Southern California and, according to one tabloid, they are struggling and have worn out their welcome in their rental house. Here's what we've determined. The cover story of this week's Life and Style makes a number of allegations about the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, their future, and their current financial situation. A supposed source tells the outlet that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are struggling to adapt. Starting over's proven tougher than either of them imagined, and Harry's running out of money. The story then goes on to make wild claims about how the Duke and Duchess are dealing with the coronavirus lockdown, much in the same way everyone is struggling with it. Life is on hold for everyone in many ways, and Markle and Prince Harry are no different. Using the worldwide pandemic as cover, the tabloid's so-called source says, they still don't have their own place, they're crashing at a friend's pad nearby Malibu to keep costs down and they can't afford their dream house as of now. The dubious source continues, remarking, it's as if Harry's gone from His Royal Highness to practically homeless. From there, the story goes on, bringing up previously debunked claims like Markle fighting with her mother and various other unsubstantiated claims. Meghan's teaching Harry to cook. Really, nothing in the story is true beyond the fact that they are currently living in a rented house in Malibu, which, by the way, is hardly practically homeless. The royal family's financial situation is notoriously difficult to get a handle on. A relatively small amount of their income comes from the government in the United Kingdom, but a vast majority of the money the family live on comes from vast landholdings held mostly by Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Charles. Even with no taxpayer help, the family is still phenomenally wealthy. In the agreement he made with the Queen, Prince Charles agreed to help his son financially until he and Meghan Markle were able to strike out on their own completely. Additionally, it is generally understood that Prince Harry inherited a significant amount of money from his mother, Princess Diana, after she died in 1997. Long story short, the couple is not struggling right now beyond the normal struggles of life under quarantine. This tabloid has shown time and time again that it has no insight into Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's private lives. This is especially true since they moved to Los Angeles. Last month, we busted the outlet for a phony report claiming that Tom Cruise was recruiting Markle for a movie role in an upcoming film. The tabloid's story was light on details and heavy on made-up conjecture, which was roundly dismissed with our impeccable source close to Cruise. It's no surprise that the magazine is wrong yet again. Taxpayers say it is time for Prince Harry and Meghan Markle to pay back £2.4 million cost of fixing up Frogmore Cottage. Furious taxpayers have today rounded on Prince Harry and Meghan Markle and called for them to pay back the £2.4 million used to renovate Frogmore Cottage. The Taxpayers Alliance and anti-monarchy website Republic led fierce calls for the couple to reimburse the public, adding it needs to be done with transparency. The Sussexes took the eye-watering sum from the sovereign grant in April last year to fund the massive renovations at their home on the Windsor estate in Berkshire. In January they pledged to pay it back, but it is unclear when and how they are going to. The uproar comes after Prince Harry caused outrage on Sunday by suggesting the coronavirus crisis was better than we are led to believe through certain corners of the media. Hours later he was widely condemned for a joint letter with his wife to 4 newspaper groups saying he would never again cooperate with the publications. Frogmore Cottage was converted from 5 apartments into their official residence, which required significant structural work and the huge funds from the public purse. Fixtures and fittings were paid for by Harry and Meghan, and Prince Charles helped to finance the project. It is not the first time the taxpayer has taken the brunt of the couple's spending. Their glamorous wedding in May 2018 is believed to have cost the country between £24 million and £30 million. A spokesman for the Taxpayers Alliance told Mail Online, taxpayers would welcome the news of the Sussexes returning the funds used to renovate Frogmore Cottage to the public purse. The royals are granted public money in accordance with their duties. Given Harry and Meghan have chosen to forfeit those duties and live abroad as private citizens, it is only right that they now seek to cover the costs themselves. Graham Smith from Republic added, They need to pay the full amount back as soon as possible and with transparency about when that's done and how. They also need to be paying for their security and thinking about repaying the cost of their wedding. Harry sparked fury over the weekend by claiming the UK's COVID-19 crisis is not as bad as the public are being told. In an interview with the Declassified podcast, the 35-year-old said things were better than we are led to believe through certain corners of the media. But his comments were branded outrageous by expert Professor Carl Sikora, who asked, what are his qualifications for making these comments, other than deserting his country in its hour of need? Speaking on the podcast, Harry said, I think what has happened especially in the UK is the very best of the human spirit, and it's proving that things are better than we are led to believe through certain corners of the media. Certainly when you're in isolation it can be very worrying when you're sitting there and the only information you're getting is from certain news channels, but then if you're out and about and you're on the right platforms you can really sense this human spirit coming to the forefront. Professor Sikora, who has led antibody tests and is a former No-10 advisor, said he thought the remarks were outrageous. He added to The Sun, as for the media, I really don't understand what Harry's beef is. Journalists have been reporting the facts and have been doing great work in holding the government to account. The media has also championed the NHS and become a key ally of doctors, nurses and key workers. They should be applauded, not vilified. UK taxpayers also vented their fury at the couple, who appear to have turned their back on Britain, on social media over the Frogmore funds. One man wrote, when's the bill for Frogmore Cottage being returned to public funds? A woman put, Meghan can show kindness by giving back the money for Frogmore Cottage and stop us paying for her security. A male user posted, let's hope they stay in the US and shut up, after they've repaid the £2.5 million Frogmore Cottage costs of course. And another commented online, UK taxpayers pay their enormous security bill and paid for Frogmore Cottage. Just hours after Harry attacked the media over the coronavirus crisis, the couple faced yet more criticism for saying they will no longer engage with the UK's most popular newspaper titles in a move blasted by the Society of Editors as censorship. Executive Director Ian Murray said the statement was sadly a clear attempt to undermine certain sections of the UK media who often ask uncomfortable questions. Royal watchers also condemned the Duke and Duchess of Sussex's narcissistic decision to have zero engagement with the four British newspaper groups. The Queen's former press spokesman Dickie Arbiter said the couple were wrong, and Prince Charles's biographer Tom Bower said they have become their own worst enemies. The LA-based Sussexes released the letter to foreign newspaper groups on Sunday night detailing how their self-imposed ban is a refusal to offer themselves up. Their message was sent from an official Sussex royal email, despite the Queen banning them from using the title and them saying they plan to use RTUL. They messaged the editors of these popular publications, the Daily Mail, the Daily Mirror, the Sun and the Daily Express. Mr. Arbiter told Mail Online, I really want to know who is advising them because they are wrong. Unless they are doing it themselves. Not only this, Harry was wrong over the weekend. Because 2.4 million deaths is bad, 16,000 in the UK is bad. So how he can even suggest it isn't as bad as what is being said about it is wrong. But then again, he is not the brightest bunny on the planet. Mr. Bower said, the Sussexes have become their own worst enemies. They clearly cannot stand being irrelevant and ignored. In the midst of a horrendous global crisis causing so much misery, all they can think about is themselves. Constantly they push their obsession about their image and their financial income into the spotlight, and then outrageously harangue the public with their problems. Meghan, just understand, no one cares. And royal commentator Richard Fitzwilliams added, we know the intensity of both Harry and Meghan's feelings towards the British tabloids, I mean there's no question about that. The statement they've released simply means it is going to be slightly more difficult for journalists to get information. It won't mean fewer royal stories because obviously the demand for royal stories will remain enormous. He added, it's important, I would have thought, and in their interests to have their point of view put across. The stark split between the Sussexes and the rest of the royal family was amplified by the Duke of Edinburgh's heartwarming message to key workers yesterday. Prince Philip, 98, said he wanted to recognize the vital and urgent medical and scientific work taking place to battle the deadly virus. It was a rare public statement from the royal, who has not been seen since he was hospitalized in December, as he approaches his 99th birthday in June. In his tribute, published on the royal family's social media channels, he said, "As we approach World Immunization Week, I wanted to recognize the vital and urgent work being done by so many to tackle the pandemic, by those in the medical and scientific professions, at universities and research institutions, all united in working to protect us from COVID-19. The Sussexes started married life at Frogmore Cottage, a gift from the Queen, but moved to Canada late last year and on to Los Angeles with their son Archie in March, when they turned their back on the royal family. They are currently understood to be living in rented accommodation near their friend Sir Elton John, but said they want to keep the Windsor cottage so they have a family home in the UK. Royal officials have previously admitted they have no idea how Harry and Meghan will pay back the £2.4 million spent on its refurbishments. Prince Charles will be supporting the couple for a year from his private funds, but it has not been confirmed whether the Bank of Dad will bail them out for Frogmore. The royal couple's security bill could cost anywhere up to £4 million, and Prince Charles is expected to pay a private contribution towards the bill. A royal source said, Charles has agreed to pay a private contribution to the Sussexes. It will not be revealed how much and what that is used for, but it is believed to be around £2 million. It would not be a surprise if it went into meeting the bill for security. However, the Prince of Wales does not have an infinite amount of money. The total income from the Duchy of Cornwall is annually around £21 million. The British public continue to hit out at Harry and Meghan online, with one woman writing, "They'll be back when they want promotion for their next charity. Their sense of entitlement and lack of self-awareness is astonishing. Time to invoice them or their guarantor Elton, for Frogmore Cottage." One man commented, "The amount of money they had spent on Frogmore Cottage and have now moved from the UK." And another added, "Have they paid back the cost of upgrading Frogmore Cottage yet?" Earlier this month the Mail revealed Harry and Meghan agreed to pay for the cost of their £4 million security personally, not using taxpayer funds. Their personnel will reportedly consist of former SAS soldiers at a cost of £400 per operative per day. The issue was raised when President Donald Trump tweeted the U.S. taxpayer would not pay for their bill, following their move to Malibu, where they are currently self-isolating with their 11-month-old son Archie. A Sussex spokesman said this month, security costs are being personally covered by the couple. The development suggests the Sussexes have negotiated a clean break, in which they will receive no public money, only funding from Prince Charles's personal fortune until they start to earn an income of their own. A source said, "The Prince of Wales supports them privately, but the Duke and Duchess also have their own money. They are paying for this themselves." The Duke has been adamant on that. Last month Prince Harry and Meghan announced they were launching a new charitable foundation named Archewell. The couple said they look forward to getting started with the foundation, which will replace their Sussex royal brand after it was banned by the Queen. The pair have plans to include their own charity as well as a website, as part of their new venture. Harry and Meghan also revealed the Greek word in the project Arch, meaning source of action, was the inspiration behind the name of their son Archie Mountbatten Windsor. Further official details about the organization have been delayed due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The Telegraph has previously reported that paperwork regarding their new brand was filed in the U.S. last month, and the couple are considering how to create their own charity and volunteering services. Plans also include a wide-ranging website and sharing education and training materials via films, podcasts and books, according to the newspaper. In response to the Telegraph, the Duke and Duchess said they were focusing their efforts on the coronavirus pandemic but felt compelled to reveal details of the venture. "Like you, our focus is on supporting efforts to tackle the global COVID-19 pandemic, but faced with this information coming to light, We felt compelled to share the story of how this came to be. Before Sussex Royal, came the idea of Arch, the Greek word meaning source of action. We connected to this concept for the charitable organization we hoped to build one day, and it became the inspiration for our son's name. To do something of meaning, to do something that matters. Arch-Ewell is a name that combines an ancient word for strength and action, and another that evokes the deep resources we each must draw upon. We look forward to launching Arch-Ewell when the time is right. Buckingham Palace has declined to comment on when the Duke and Duchess of Sussex will reimburse the taxpayer. The couple have been approached for comment.